Already the 001 memes have started for Victor Gyokeres. A lot of people are running their banter, and to be honest, it was something to be expected, especially with a player with the amount of hype, the amount of expectation, especially coming into this match in your debut against Tottenham Hotspur. There were a lot of people that were thinking that Gyokeres was going to maybe have an involvement in this match. For me, I instantly thought that Gyokeres was probably going to get about 10-15 minutes and that was about it. And that was literally what happened. And we saw that when Kai Havertz started in this game. And ultimately, this game for me was a bit bland. Yes, Arsenal done pretty well at the start. They had so much possession. I think they had 76% possession in the first 20 minutes. And overall in the game, they've had 16 shots. They've had better pass accuracy. They've even had a whopping 13 corners compared to Tottenham's 4. So overall, from a statistical point of view, Arsenal should have won this game very comfortably. But you see, the thing is that if you're not clinical enough and if you do not take your chances, then this is essentially what happens. And people can go and complain about Lewis-Skelly and whether that was a foul or not. For me, it was a foul. But one thing I will criticize MLS on is the fact that, look, when you get the ball, the number one rule that you should never ever do is dribble in your own half. And for me, that is essentially what happened. Yes, Sarr got the ball and his finish was absolutely immense. It reminded me a lot of the goal when Sporting scored that against Ramsdale, essentially. And with Raya, a lot of people are criticizing him for being way over his line. And he was. And this is something that we can look at with David Raya, and this was possibly another mistake he's made against Tottenham Hotspur. As good as a keeper that David Raya can be, against Tottenham he has made a few mistakes here and there, and this is another one to be counted in. But overall, people can say, is this a pre-season? Are Arsenal fans overreacting? And maybe so, but I think that in this game, and especially with these players and the tactics that have been put out there, we have to look at it and really say to ourselves, is there actually a reason to be concerned? Yeah, it's a pre-season. Yeah, players are going out there for their fitness and trying to get a runabout, and okay, sure, this is the Hong Kong festival and Tottenham Hotspur managed to win a trophy although it's in a pre-season against Arsenal, and people can say, yeah, whatever, no one's going to care about this in 6 months time. But however, one thing I do look at is that these sort of small things do play a psychological part. Tottenham can look in front of Arsenal and say, yeah, we've won a sort of trophy, even though it's a pre-season trophy. It's these little things that play a big part in the grand scheme of things, and I think it was important for Arsenal to get the win over Tottenham, because at the end of the day, no matter if it's a pre-season or not, whenever Tottenham are there, you've got to be ready for that match, especially if you're Arsenal Football Club. It's a North London derby. There's no ifs, buts or maybes about it. And with Arsenal, I just think that with the transfer window that we've had, I think so far 200 million has been spent, and there has been a lot of players that have come through, and we've seen other debuts, especially with Mosquera. But overall, for me, it's been a little bit underwhelming in the sense that we haven't got everything over the line. I mean, we're still talking about Eze, we're still mulling over the possibility of signing a left winger and who the hell that's going to be. Rodrigo's gone quiet, and right now we're getting closer and closer to the start of the season. We'll probably have about 2-3 more pre-season matches left, I think, with the Emirates Cup coming up, and I honestly don't know how things are going to pan out. And I think the very key thing is that I'm going to talk about Gyokeres now. And with Gyokeres, we all know with a player with that much hype, people are going to expect a lot more, and if you do good, you'll get praised a lot more, and if you do bad, then it will be amplified and there'll be a big magnifying glass on those bad aspects of whatever you did in the match. I mean, look at Jadon Sancho when he came to Manchester United, 007, because of the amount of price tag he came for and the expectation. This is what happens, especially when you're highly rated, and especially with Gyokeres, with what he's done over the last couple of seasons, scoring down near 100 goals in the last 2 seasons essentially. For him to come into this match in 30 minutes, he took no shots, he completed no dribbles, and he didn't win a single duel. That is something that people can say, look, you're supposed to be there as a super sub, you should be doing a lot more. But for me, I looked at Gyokeres, and this is the thing with Arteta that really frustrates me, and this is the thing with the tactics that really annoys me as well. I think that the reason why Arteta really goes for Havertz and Jesus and those sort of players is because they tend to drop deep and try and be part of the build-up play and try and get the ball forward and be the extra midfielder per se. But the thing is that with Gyokeres, he's a striker, he's a guy that's going to be up top, he's a guy that's going to be with the last man and try and get goals, and that is essentially what he's there to do. And this is why someone like Eddie Nketiah didn't really really work out at Arsenal because of these tactics partly. But I just think with Gyokeres, we haven't been playing to his strengths. I think even with corners, we know Gyokeres isn't the best in terms of headers, and we still keep trying to cross the ball. And the thing is that when Gyokeres came onto the pitch, we should have had a different tactic there for him. We should have changed the formation to do something to accommodate him, because when you get a striker like that into your club, we need to change the way that we play to accommodate him, because we know if we do that, we'll get a bucket load of goals with this guy on the team. And I think with Mikel Arteta, I think the big question that comes to him is that, is he going to accommodate Gyokeres, or is he going to be stubborn, and is he just going to say, Gyokeres, you need to fit into my system, and that's that. And the thing is, there has to be a bit of a mutual ground between the two, where Gyokeres does try and help Arteta in his system, but Arteta needs to support him as well. And it can't just be my way or no way, because with the amount of time that Mikel Arteta has had, he doesn't have that much time left, in my opinion, coming into the season for him to go about this stubborn way, because overall it's been 5 years since a major trophy. I know this is a thing that's been barked on about so much, but Mikel Arteta really needs to figure out how to deal with Victor Gyokeres. And maybe I'm overlooking at this 13 minutes that Gyokeres has played. Maybe it's just a preseason match, and maybe he was just unlucky, but I saw him get into key spaces where I just thought the other Arsenal players should have given him a through ball, should have passed him the ball in certain areas in the pitch and passed it to feet, and they just didn't really do that. And they tried to revert back to shape where they just wanted to cross the ball over and over again, or just do their own version of build-up play. And sometimes you need to just change things up, and that's something we're going to be waiting to see from Martin Odegaard coming into this season. But anyhow, it's a very disappointing game. It's a game where it is a preseason. Maybe people aren't going to worry about that over the next coming months, but these are the things that count in terms of mentality, in terms of getting the fitness and just getting a good rhythm. And overall from Arsenal, I just don't think they were able to do that. I mean, great goal from Sarr. With MLS, I felt we should have done better, as well as David Raya. Yes, the referee was abysmal today, but it's nothing new from last season. The referees were abysmal last season during the Premier League. It's about how you overcome that. And I think with Arsenal, and with the way that they played in terms of recruitment and all the other factors involved in terms of tactics and backroom staffs and all of that, have they moved forward? Have they evolved, and have they adapted? And that is a very key thing we're going to see into the season. But anyhow, that's my views on the match. Poor match, but let's see what happens next. Please like and subscribe, and hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.